Greetings, Soarers. Thank you so much for taking the time today to join this fireside chat. Today, we will spend time with Sora Deidre Wood Stokes, who is a candidate for second vice president of our beloved chapter. Today, Sora Deidre will share more about herself, her experiences, and her vision centered on impact, collaboration, and unity. She looks forward to your engagement. So please, if you have questions, place them in the chat. During the Q&A segment, if you have questions that you'd like to ask live, please raise your hand and I will unmute your mic. Please note, Soras, that this session will be recorded. And without further ado, I'd like to present to you Sora Deidre Wood Stokes, candidate for second vice president.
Thank you so much, Soror Aaron Killingsworth Walker. I appreciate it and welcome. And thank you for all of you that took some time out of your late afternoon, early evening to come to my fireside chat as I embark upon this race and to be selected as the second vice president of the Joliet area South Suburban Alumnae chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So today, what we're going to go or through this fireside chat, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, tell you a little bit about my commitment, a little bit about my vision, my why, and then we will open up the floor for questions and answers. I will speak to my commitment to you, to our chapter, and to the responsibilities of the second vice president role. From there, I'll share my vision, what I see as possible for JASIC when we lead with intention, collaboration, and unity. I'll also speak from the heart about my why I'm running, why this role matters, and why I believe that this moment is the right one. And finally, we'll open up for question and answers session, and I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and having transparent dialogue. I'm excited to walk this journey with you, and I thank you in advance for your time, your insight, and your sisterly support. So I'm proud to tell you a little bit about me. I'm a proud Chicago native. I'm a graduate of Kenwood Academy, where I first found my voice as a student leader. I earned a Bachelor of Science degree from Xavier University of Louisiana, a place that instilled in me both academic discipline and a deep commitment to purpose. I went on to earn my Juris Doctorate degree from Chicago Kent College of Law, and I've been a licensed practicing attorney since 1996. On a personal note, I've been happily married for 25 years, and I'm the proud mother of 3 beautiful daughters. My family and I live in Frankfort, Illinois, and I bring the values of faith, family, and community into every space that I serve. I was initiated into the illustrious Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated through the Gamma Alpha chapter in October of 1986. And I have been a dedicated member of the Joliet area South Suburban Alumnae chapter since 2006. So whether in the courtroom, in the community, or in this chapter, my life's work is rooted in 3 principles: sisterhood, service, and leadership. That's who I am. And that's the foundation I bring into this campaign and prayerfully into the role of second vice president. So while every leadership role that I've held may have not been within Delta, my commitment to this sisterhood and our community has never wavered. I have always answered the call, whether asked to serve, support, or sponsor an event. And I've done so with my heart, humility, and purpose. As co-chair of JASIC's Delta Homeownership Initiative Committee back in between 2007 and 2009, I helped lead our chapter as one of the co-chairs to the 3 first-place national and regional awards at the 49th National Convention, proving that when service meets strategy, excellence follows. I served as a board member of the JASIC Charitable Foundation, helping advance the financial and programmatic work that sustains our mission. I currently was elected by the current board of directors of DREF to serve as a current board member with a 4-year term. Beyond Delta, I've held significant leadership roles in Jack and Jill of America and Top Ladies of Distinction Incorporated, including serving as chapter president, regional membership chair, and both national and area parliamentarian roles that require vision, discipline, and a deep collaboration. These positions have sharpened my ability to build consensus, navigate governance, and lead with integrity, skills I bring back to JASIC with love and loyalty. So when I step into leadership, I don't step in as a stranger to service. I step in as a soror who's been doing the work all along. I am ready to serve and I am prepared to lead. Next to sisterhood, there is no greater responsibility in our chapter and in this illustrious organization than programming. Why? Because program planning and development is the heartbeat of who we are and how we serve. It's the bridge between our mission and the needs of our community. As second vice president, I understand the responsibility. Our chapter touches 47 communities. That is 47 different sets of needs, voices, and opportunities. It is our duty to show up intentionally with service that is relevant, meaningful, and impactful. To do that well requires more than good intentions. It requires great leadership, leadership that listens, that collaborates, that inspires, and that gets things done. Leadership that reflects both the heart of Delta and the need of the people. My platform, I See You, was built with that commitment in mind. I see our chapter, I see our communities, and I stand with each of you in sisterhood and in service. My platform, I See You, is rooted in three powerful words: I impact, collaborate, unity. But it's more than an acronym, it's a promise. I see you, I serve you, and I stand with you. As your second vice president, I will lead with vision, compassion, and intention, ensuring that our chapter continues to elevate our programming, strengthening our partnerships, and unify our sisterhood. The I stands for impact, so that we will continue to deliver innovative, legacy rooted programs that makes a meaningful difference in the lives of the people in the community that we touch. The C stands for collaborate. We will work across community committees and communities, building partnerships that extend our reach and amplify our power. The U stands for unity. We will create a culture of inclusion, understanding, and mutual respect, because unity is how we actually thrive. I see you as my commitment to every soror, to every committee, and every community that we serve and that we touch. Let's start off with impact. Our chapter has a strong legacy of delivering dynamic mission aligned programming. I'm committed to not only continuing that legacy, but strengthening it. That means making sure every program is relevant, responsive, and rooted in the 5 point programmatic thrust. To truly serve, we must listen. I will work with committee chairs to identify the gaps in our communities, the areas where needs persist but may not yet be addressed, and assist with designing programming that directly meets those needs with compassion and action. While we honor the past, we also must look forward to the future. I believe in building new, innovative initiatives that are not only creative and timely, but grounded in our Delta legacy of service, education, and empowerment. It's about evolving without ever forgetting where we came from. And that means being intentional about how we educate and uplift the next generation. As we develop programs for our youth, we must ensure that African American history is not treated as an occasional topic, especially during this current administration that is trying to eliminate the history of African Americans and how we've contributed to society, but as a foundational pillar. Just as other cultures consistently instill pride and identity and legacy in their young people, we must do the same as well. Our youth programming through Delta Gyms, through Delta Academy, and Embody, we need to include and embrace African American history so that we are arming our youth with the information and with the foundation to know that they where they actually came from and who they are. When you know who you are, you actually know whose you are, and it empowers you to actually conquer many goals. Many of through culturally rooted educational program, we not only can only inspire pride, we must spark purpose. And with innovative legacy-based initiatives, we can ensure that our chapter's impact doesn't just echo in the present, that it reverberates into the future. Collaboration is where strategy meets sisterhood. Under the C of my ICU platform, I envision a chapter where we maximize our collective brilliance through intercommittee collaboration, breaking down silos and building stronger connections between our dynamic committees. But it doesn't stop there. To truly deepen our impact across the 47 communities that we serve, we must expand our outreach by intentionally increasing partnerships with other organizations and other like-minded organizations. Together, we can amplify our presence and extend our outreach. It is more important more than ever now that we have more responsibility now than we've ever had before. With some of the things that we are seeing with this current administration and some of the rollbacks, it is incumbent upon organizations to embrace our community, to collaborate, and to partner so that we continue to make the impact and fill those gaps that are definitely being created at this particular point in time. And most importantly, I believe in promoting sisterly engagement in every step of our planning and implementation. Every sorrow's voice matter. And when we collaborate with intention and heart, we not only strengthen our programs, we actually strengthen each other. Last but not least, unity. Unity is not just about standing together. It's about truly seeing, hearing, and honoring one another. As second vice president, I will work along with the leadership to cultivate an inclusive environment where every soror feels seen, valued, and empowered to engage. With the elected leadership, we will meeting people where they are isn't just compassion, it's connection. It builds bridges of understanding that unify us and make our collective work stronger. In some of my past leadership roles, one of the things that I coined a phrase was that I typically meet people where they are. And sometimes people have a hard time doing that. I think sometimes people believe that people can do more, but you never know what someone is doing at that time or what their responsibilities are. I joke and I say that if all you can bring is the water, we need water at this event. So if that's what you can do at this time, that's what you're going to do. And we're going to embrace it. We're going to encourage it. And because we corral around you, when we need you to do some other heavy lifting or something else, we will actually embrace that. So we will meet you where you are. And that is what I embrace. By fostering empathy and mutual respect, we actually create space for collaborative leadership, sisterly engagement, and programs that reflect the diversity of our chapter and the community that we serve. Together, we don't just talk about unity, we will grow to live it. So, why now? Because, like so many meaningful moments in history, this isn't just about what was planned, it's about what is purposed. I'm reminded of when President Barack Obama stepped into the national spotlight. He didn't begin with a plan to run for president so early, but the time was right. The moment called for his voice, his leadership, and his vision, and he answered. And so, in the same spirit, I stand before you today, not because this was always the plan, but because I believe this is the right time. This is the right time to step up to be a part of the leadership team, the right time to serve with the leadership team, the right time to help shape the future of our chapter with excellence and with intention. I bring leadership experience rooted in results, collaboration, and service. I bring a collaborative spirit because we are always stronger together than we are apart. I bring a strategic vision, a roadmap to expand our impact and strengthen our sisterhood. But more than anything, I bring a heart for Delta and a deep, unwavering love for JASIC. I am Deidre Stokes, candidate for second vice president of the Joliet area South Suburban Alumnae, chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I am guided by purpose, grounded by service, driven by an unwavering love for our sisterhood and the communities we serve. I believe in the power of intentional programming, collaborative leadership, and unity, and uplift every soror with faith and in our mission and a heart full of Delta. I humbly ask for your support and your vote. Together, let's lead with vision, serve with purpose, and strengthen the legacy of JASIC, one program, one partnership, and one sister at a time. And at this time, I will take any questions.
Thank you so much, Soror Deidra Stokes. Sorors, if you have questions that you'd like to place in the chat, please place them in the chat at this time. If you have a question that you'd like to answer live, please raise your hand and I will unmute you so that you can ask your question. Soror Gwendolyn Bowie.
Hello, Soros. Hi, Deidra, Sora Deidra Stokes.
Hi, Soror Gwen. How are you?
Hello, I'm great. I have one question for you.
Okay.
How will how will you ensure that your initiatives for membership engagement align with the president's vision for the chapter while also fostering inclusivity and active participation among all members?
So, one of the things I think I know in order to be a good leader, you need to be a good follower. As second vice president, I'm on the leadership team of the president. So, of course, and I serve with you as a co-chair, and I always, at any time, will defer to you because you are the chair of that committee. I respect leadership at all times because respect is given when you respect as well. And so I would first collaborate as a team. We should actually share our thoughts. And I embrace the concept of meeting people where they are. I think when you appreciate people for what they can do at the time that it encourages and empowers them to do more. It's amazing that when sometimes we push people to do more, maybe they're not opening up and telling you everything that they're dealing with. But if they're telling you, you know what, Soror Gwen, this is what I can do right now, and you say, well, that's enough right now, we will take that and we will put you in this. This is where that gap exists and we need you. I think the fact that you can identify spaces where people can be, even when they think that they can't give a lot, but they want to give, it works to empower them. It works in a spirit that they know that the president and the leadership team see them, even if, as I indicated, I can only bring the water to every event, but you see me, you hear me, you're meeting me. And then when I have more time and I can do more, it does automatically creates a spirit of inclusivity because you're including them. You're not telling that person, well, we already have someone bringing water. We're like, if that's all that person can do, let's allow them to do it so that when they come, maybe they can identify something else that they can do. Maybe there's a talent they have that they don't even know that exists. But the fact that we included them in and accepted that, it will create and foster the inclusivity that is sometimes just needed. So that's how I work along with leadership. I would work along with the current president, what that person's vision is, because that is who the body and the membership voted for at the end of the day. And that is how you give respect and you gain respect by working with your leadership team.
Thank you so much for that answer.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for that question.
Soror Samuels.
I'm unmuted, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, hi.
Hi, Soror Samuels. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. And how are you? And I'm just so proud of you as always and your many accomplishments that I have followed you and supported you with. So
Thank you.
yes, I appreciate that. I think you bring a lot to the chapter. I don't really have a question per se, but if I could just make a comment on a couple of the areas that you spoke of that I
Absolutely.
think are so important. One, with the bringing in, integrating our history with the programs with our young people. I think that is so important because that has sorely been neglected in our communities. I know I grew up eons ago because I've been at Delta. This is my 65th year, so you
Yes.
can add it up. So
Yes.
that I learned it at home, and we had the Ebony magazine and other
Yes.
literatures that we could read and follow. And today, that is just not out there for our young
That
people
is so
to
true.
build that historical foundation. And the other, one of the others is the uh, intercommunication with the committees, because I think you get a lot of mileage out of that with and learning, determining what you can consolidate.
Right.
Because our time, I mean, I'm not, active there, but I know that tours are professional and their time is very important. So I hope
Absolutely.
you will, as you look at the programming, that you will consider that as well in your planning and the other partnerships in the community, because I think that give you a larger community and perspective to work with, because we can't be everywhere and do everything. And I think we have to, I hope that you will look at what we can focus on and that we can do the best jobs that we can and help the most people that we can. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Sora Samuels. And Sora Samuels is a powerhouse. She's one of my Delta mentors. She's been a past national officer. When I served on the JASIC Foundation, she was served on there as I think as our accountant, right, as our CPA.
Yeah.
And she also served on the DST. You actually organize them as well. And so she comes to the table with so much knowledge. So I want to tell you, thank you for your support. I really want to say that. And it's really near and dear to me because right now, when we talk about how this current administration is trying to just erase our history, I feel that we don't need you to tell our history. We could tell our own story. And my peers, I'm in my office right now and I'm in the law school, and my peers who are primarily from the Jewish culture, they don't rely on the schools to teach their Hebrew history to their children. They send their children to school to learn that. Other cultures do not. And that is what we need to begin to do. We do it in some facets. My church does it, but at the same time, we need to infuse it. And as you said, I even forgot about the Ebony magazines or the Jet magazines. Those, in 5 minutes, you would be up to date every week or every month on what was happening in the Black community. And we really don't have that as much because social media has taken that away. And unfortunately, it's the sensationalism of what you see. So as you can probably hear, my passion about it is that we have to do more and infuse that historical, because that is where we empower our people and our youth when they know our story.
Yes.
So thank you.
Also, with the media, speaking in the media, I mean, maybe we could consider YouTube or some
Yes,
way to communicate, educational way to communicate to even a larger community.
absolutely. That is great, great advice. Thank you so much. Thank you
You're
for the
welcome.
question. Thank you for the comment. Thank you so much for the comment.
Okay, Sora Tangi.
All right. So good afternoon, Soros, and good afternoon, Sora Deidre Stokes. Let me first start by saying what an amazing message.
Thank
Story.
you.
Really enjoyed seeing your journey through Delta. This year, this has been a unique year for us, I would have to say. We're bringing in a new line. We're also, as you mentioned, going through unprecedented times with the new administration in place. As a result of that, we do have sorors who are, losing their jobs, or, loved ones who are losing their jobs as well. I've attended some of the candidate forums and everything, and I've heard a lot about, sorors wanting ideas on how to, find out about new career opportunities, as well as being, soror hurt. I think that's been a term we've heard quite a bit. But then there's also the need for us to support these 47 communities that we have.
Okay.
Understanding those three pieces of the triangle, what are your thoughts or suggestions on how do we handle those things?
I think that at a time like this, when there's a lot of devastation happening on all fronts. I think we wake up and we see the news and we hear the devastation. Like, how dare you take Black Lives Matter off of the street? How dare you? There's every waking moment that we're constantly devastated. And I think that collectively as a people that we are, and I think we have to go back to the basics, like in the 60s. I think we need to turn back the time. And how did people organize? There were multiple organizations that organized and were effective because there's power in numbers. So one of the things I was speaking with Soror Aaron earlier today, and I was speaking with Soror Tracy Bradley, that when she was the Illinois State Coordinator, maybe about 15 years ago, we were able to get a grant from the state of Illinois as long as the chapter partnered with another organization. And we actually partnered with the South Suburban Jack and Jill chapter, and we did a HIV awareness, and we received a grant, and we had it at Prairie State. We invited the community. We gave away these Target gift cards. We had speakers, people that actually were individuals that had been I guess you can say, diagnosed with HIV. And so what happened, it was a community event. We invited our teens, of course, because it was a heavy subject, but we need to do more activities with we're little islands in this big community. In order to serve the 47 communities, we must band together. We must go back to the grassroots foundation and partnering. We have to partner with our D9 sisters. We have to partner with our other organizations. We have to, because we can't do it all. We will end up getting burnt out. But it's enough of us that care about the same initiatives, that are concerned enough, that pray enough, that want to see the difference, that want to make a difference. And we need to partner with them, not just in our chapter, partnering with committees, but we need to partner with those sisters, those brothers organizations that are there, so that everybody is not burned out, but collectively that we do it. That's how we had Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It wasn't because everybody was an island. It was because all those business owners were on several blocks. That is the reason why they ended up combating against it, because collectively they came together and created a community. And we can do the same, but we can't just rest it on, even though we have 500 members, we can't just rely upon the members in our organization. That is not practical if we divide it up. If we divide 500 people against 47 communities, that's 10 people in every community. That's a lot of work. So at the end of the day, to be effective, we must partner with other organizations so that we can still, one, take care of ourselves, right? Because what do they tell you when you're on a plane? Put the oxygen mask on yourself, then you help your partner. We can't go help anybody else if we're losing steam and we don't have oxygen. So we have to partner with individuals so that we can maintain our own self-worth. We can also maintain our own health, and that we can keep the oxygen mask on so that we can continue to save others as well.
Thank you, Sora. And that's what I believe as well, as we have to keep, working in the community as well. So
Yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Mhm.
Soror Tracy Bradley.
Thank you, Soror. Hi, Sorors. Hello, Soror Stokes.
Hi, Soror Tracy.
So Sands.
Sands, that's right. I was going to say it, but that's all right. That's all right. That's right. That's right.
I want to want you to spend a few minutes talking about the importance of the pivot. So as we know, we have 47 communities we have to serve. We have a full calendar We also know that we're going to receive initiatives, especially with the new national administration coming in, and maybe some regional initiatives. I would like to hear how you pivot and integrate those programs without burning sorors out or getting rid of something that many sorors in the chapter or program many sorors hold dear. So could you walk us through the power of the pivot, please?
So the power of the pivot or make it a paradigm shift. So we have to sometimes make, and it's hard. Change is really difficult, especially when new administration comes in, right? And so one of the things we need to do is evaluate what's working and what isn't working. So we may need to survey our committees to see what they believe has been the value of past programming that they've actually implemented in various communities. We need to also, when we do those surveys, I know we do a lot of those surveys about what did you get, how did this help you, but I think we need to do just surveys just amongst our committee members. So I would actually survey the current committee chairs and say, what are some of the things that you believe should have, where the gaps met? Now, also, we would need to meet and look at the current administration and some of the new initiatives that are coming out. We would need to figure out how we can brainstorm to keep those things that are working. And what are those things we're going to stop doing? What are those things we're going to start doing? What those things that we're going to continue to do in order to pivot in a manner that is not overly burdensome to our members. And then by putting those committee chairs together, they can possibly figure out that they have some initiatives that are aligned that can actually be tackled with three of our committees working together on a large project or a large program. So I think one of the keys in pivoting is that you have to embrace the current individuals and you have to embrace the program and let people know that you're not just, eliminating something that's working, because change is very difficult and walk people along. But you have to include people in that pivot. You cannot make the pivot and just throw it at individuals. You have to include them. I remember when I made a checklist in my office. I had a private practice. I'm now at the law school with my practice for about 20 something years. And I remember making a checklist and talking to an HR person, and the person said, I said, you know what, I got this checklist and none of the employees are using it and they're making a mistake. And then what this HR individual, this human resource person said, because they didn't own it. They weren't part of your checklist. So what you need to do is go to the people, tell them to make the checklist. You guys work together in making the checklist, and now there's ownership in the process. So in order to make a pivot, you have to have people participate in the pivot. You have to make sure that you embrace the concepts that they believe that are value. And when people feel their value, it's not hard. They'll slowly make the pivot, not even knowing that they're pivoting.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We don't have any questions in the chat. Oh, we have another hand. Sora
Yes.
Samuels.
I just to follow up on that with Sora Bradley in the pivot. One of the things that I did in a leadership role when I was president of Chicago Alumnae chapter, all of the, and I don't know because I'm not, internal at this time, knowing what's really going on internally in the chapter, in the committees, but every chair of the committee had to maintain a record of their accomplishments and their outcomes. Mm-hmm. And that way, you know how effective the programs are, how much participation you're getting from the community, as well as from the chapter. And that way is one tool that you can use to evaluate what they're doing. And now, I mean, they tease me because everybody had what we called then a red book. But now we have digital, so everybody can do it on their computer. So it shouldn't be very difficult to maintain. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me say that.
Thank you, Soror Samuels, for that insight. Thank you very much.
Okay, Soars, are there any final questions or any questions? I don't see any questions in the chat, and we don't have any hands raised at this point in time.
Okay, so well, if there's no other questions, I want to give you the gift of time back because I know we're all busy, but I would like to ask, as I tell anyone that's running for any type of office, it is always incumbent upon you to ask for the vote. Don't assume you're going to get the vote, but you have to ask the vote, even from those that are near and dear to you. And so I am Deidre Wood Stokes. I am candidate for the second vice president of the Joliet area South Suburban Alumnae chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And I'm asking for your support. I humbly ask you for your vote. And I would like to share with you that I am guided by purpose. I am grounded by service, and I'm driven by an unwavering love for our sisterhood and the communities that we serve. And with that, I would like to bless you with the rest of your day. And thank you so much for taking out the time, because I know that we're all busy, and tuning in, logging in, and listening and asking questions. Thank you so very much. We will save this recording. I will try to have it posted in the next candidates corner, but I so appreciate you being here, and I so appreciate your comments and your questions. All right.